Hey everyone, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital Recap for Wednesday, February 3rd. Biggest news we have today is Telcoin, and this video is going to be completely on Telcoin, and we are going to ignore everything else that's going on in the crypto market because we've been talking about Tel for a very long time. I've been holding it since 2018, and I have added greatly to my position. We had talked about it back in our newsletter back in November. As you can see over here, this was back published November 25th. And you can find this on Substack, and I'll scroll down here and you guys can see our key crypto to watch. This was Tel. It was down 70% at the time at 00016. And now if we go back here, it's at 0016. So 10x gain on your money. We were talking about this a while ago because we think the project is awesome and they've had some great news come out here. So what I wanted to do was just kind of roll through what their update was and kind of where we're at with Telcoin, and let's dive into it. So first off, let's go to their Twitter. So they were talking about February 3rd. Today, 2021, they are going to be having their new app hit the Android and iOS store. And I think that is definitely a reason for the price rise that we've been seeing here. They did release a Telcoin community update a few days ago discussing what was about to take place. And we're going to read through it and kind of just dive into some of the details here. So it says, like just about everyone else on earth, we at Telcoin are happy to move on from 2020, and 2021 is off to an exciting start. We've submitted version 2 of the Telcoin app to both the App Store and Play Store. Fiat remittances are finally becoming a reality. More importantly, this milestone closes the book on our transitional period. From here forward, in addition to continuing to add fiat remittance corridors, we are all, from a product standpoint, working on efforts initiated by the new team, namely Telcoin version 3. So they just dropped version 2 and they're already discussing version 3. It says that it might sound odd to talk about version 3 when we are just now launching version 2, but when the new team took over, we sat down and asked ourselves, where do we want to be in a year and what is the best path to get there? So while we are all excited about today's release, it is from our perspective a necessary stepping stone to completing our grander Telcoin vision. They go on to thank everybody. They say exciting times are ahead. And so let's dive into the Telcoin version 2 launch. So it says pending the App Store approvals, we are excited to announce that both iOS and Android versions of the version 2 mobile app will be released to the public in the coming days. A lot have been revamped under the hood, but there are two major aspects to the upgrade. And so they're going to talk about the addition of fiat payment rails and international remittances. And the second one is the addition of identity verification for all users of the Telcoin app. And we know that KYC is a huge issue and something that needs to be addressed for cryptocurrencies. And the reason why Telcoin is so awesome is because they are giving their Telcoins to the telecom providers. Those telecom providers already have basically KYC enabled. So that makes it very easy for them to adopt the currency and abide by the KYC rules and have them work with regulators. So we'll go on to say that Canada is the first of our 4 initial sending markets that Telcoin is entering for fiat remittances, followed by Singapore, Australia, and the USA. So our launch corridor to the Philippines will be immediately competitive by way of our direct connection partnership with Gcash. And Gcash is the largest mobile money platform in the Philippines with more than 33 million users. And it says that, of course, we understand that in order to successfully market a remittance service, we need to be able to serve a large number of destinations and cash out methods. Now that the heavy lifting is done in terms of getting this initial corridor working, we are confident we can quickly scale our remittance service globally and reiterate our projection that we will be able to catch up or exceed our roadmap targeted pace by mid-year. So that is huge. The rollout in the US, that's amazing. You know, you guys always want to get into suppressed assets, things that people aren't talking about yet. And if you just do a quick search for Telcoin, you're not going to find too much news that comes up. I even just did a search for it earlier today, Telcoin news, and the last thing that came up was like 2 weeks ago. So I do still think it is early. Obviously, you don't ever want to buy when things are pumping like crazy. I always like to wait for a red day, but who knows? Maybe you're just getting in super early still, and this thing pulls like what an XRP did, and it goes absolutely bonkers, and you guys get in at, hundreds or 10 1,000ths of a penny, and then it ends up going to a penny or more. So It goes on to say there are dozens, if not hundreds, of venues for engaging with blockchain and digital assets anonymously. As one of our core goals is bringing these new technologies mainstream, we're taking the path of compliance and are confident that this will allow Telcoin to scale faster. So Telcoin version 2 adds KYC, know your customer, verification to the app, thanks to a partnership with leading identity authentication platform Jumio. And that's definitely why they're going to be able to release Telcoin in the USA corridor, because they are very easily able to comply. And if they're partnering with Jumio, that's just more of a reason to have greater adoption, in my opinion. So Jumio's AI-powered technology, which has been integrated into the Telcoin app, allows users around the world to simply upload a photo of their government-issued ID card and take a selfie to confirm their identity. KYC enables us to fulfill emerging regulatory requirements and is a major step in bringing compliant money transfers to users worldwide. So this is basically like getting in, like I said, on XRP, only they're already working with the regulators and there's somewhat clarity to what they can and cannot do. And because of this, they should be able to expand and scale quite nicely. This compliance first strategy will allow us to quickly add smooth fiat payment rails globally, while we also expand digital asset capabilities in parallel. This is also critical to our plan to embrace the US market. Yes, as we noted before, this is great for the US market. So current users who would not like to KYC with Telcoin are free to decline and withdraw TEL to an ERC20 address. Also note that the active beneficiary, as previously described, and it says it's a recipient using the Telcoin app to select their preferred destination for the remittance, is included in version 2, but will not be in version 2.0, as we want to make sure various new elements are working properly in production and that compliance systems are up and running properly prior to turning this on. But now that the Android is completely caught up with iOS, we are excited to turn this on very soon in the version 2 release cycle. Awesome. So a stepping stone, it says the Telcoin version 2 application is effectively two parallel services in one application. The existing multi-sig wallet is of course still there, and while it now supports multi-asset, we are still only allowing TEL tokens for now. The Fiat remittance service has been added as a second firewall service within the app. This separation, while admittedly somewhat awkward during this period, is very deliberate. In a number of markets, we could immediately blend fiat and crypto worlds right now, but this would inhibit our ability to quickly scale our fiat payment rail options. By navigating a stepping stone phase that maintains two insulated tracks, fiat and crypto, we can stay fully compliant with our fiat-only partners and markets. We then anticipate being able to flip a switch selectively with partners and markets as soon as we are able to connect the two worlds in a fully compliant manner. So that's awesome that they are keeping them separate until they have basically the clarity that they need to go ahead and execute this. So for right now, I think that's a great idea. And to the Telcoin version 3 vision, the next version of the Telcoin app, already well underway, will at a high level involve the convergence of the parallel fiat and crypto tracks incubated in version 2. Without exposing too many details, this next version will provide a foundation for smooth and compliant payment rails into and out of multiple digital assets and decentralized financial services globally. International remittance will still be central to our offering, but corridor by corridor, we plan to flip the switch to allow so much more as soon as it is legally possible to do so in each market. So this is great. So if you guys don't know already, they're basically targeting international remittance payments. So similar to how a customer would send money via MoneyGram or one of the other services, they're essentially being able to do it via their phone, working with the telecom providers for much less in fees. So the telecom providers will be given Telcoin, and that will obviously encourage and incentivize them to use the currency and deliver it to their customers, which is fantastic because they're already working with the regulators. They're giving the Telcoin currency to the telecom operators. So everybody is incentivized to use this currency. And once they get into the US market, I know there's a lot of customers here, that are using MoneyGram to go ahead and send payments internationally. We do know that XRP invested in MoneyGram for international remittances. And so this is great news. They're basically regulatory compliant. They have the KYC already in place, and they should be able to roll out everything they need to here shortly. So the TEL token and issuance in this Telcoin version 3 vision, the TEL token plays a very central role in a number of ways, including how we plan to interface with DeFi systems and incentivize our telecom partners to market our services to their subscribers. So of course they're going to market the services to the subscribers because the telecom operators are already holding the asset. So it benefits everybody involved. Our original vision for Telcoin still stands. In today's climate is more relevant than ever. Mobile networks globally are seeking a second chance with non-custodial financial services, what we are calling Mobile Financial Service 2.0 or MFS 2.0 in telecom parlance. With interest rates near zero for the foreseeable future, why would a telecom want to be custody to funds if that requires them to spin off the service as a separate bank? Telcoin, as realized in the version 3 application, will provide this opportunity to mobile networks globally with TEL issuance as the impetus to market entry. And it says, when we originally pitched the Telcoin concept to mobile networks 3 years ago, we could easily get them excited, but in addition to the regulatory uncertainty of crypto at the time, mobile networks had a hard time figuring out where we could fit. Now, in addition to regulatory certainty crystallizing, the landscape in terms of telecom business structure is very different. Networks globally have restructured to introduce digital financial services departments aimed at non-custodial financial products, particularly in the developing markets where we are rolling out remittance services. A natural home for Telcoin with telecom bureaucracies is emerging. And we're almost done here. It says, prior to the release of version 3, all remaining non-circulating tokens will be either in the liquidity fund or set aside for issuance to mobile network operator partners in a transparent and automated fashion. With version 3, we are confident that we will finally have all of the pieces in place to make this original vision of Telcoin a reality, and we'll be able to scale exponentially as a result. The path to this original vision has ended up being a bit longer than anticipated, and issuance in the meantime has been temporarily deployed to bridge us to this vision in line with our white paper. We are very excited about the end result and the role the token will play in completing our vision from version 3 onwards. And in other developments, there are a number of developments to report, including a couple of new hires and a couple of new office openings, but we will hold these for a bit later as this new app version is a lot to communicate for now. We will also be moving forward the token genesis and liquidity wallets to a more secure and flexible system in preparation for some of the features of version 3 and its surrounding TEL ecosystem. The transfer will take place very soon, but you can see the new addresses below and ahead of time. And then they go on to say, thank you. We're grateful for your continued support. Cheers to a healthy and successful year ahead. And so this is awesome. This is exactly what we need. International remittances that are following KYC regulatories that are following KYC and they're getting regulatory clarity. And this is fantastic. So we can go ahead here. I have the Telcoin partners pulled up here, right over here. So we got GSMA, Gcash, TouchPay, EasyPay, Jumia, CoinGate, KuCoin, Uniswap, Balancer. So they got quite a few partners here, and they are going to be coming to the US soon. So this is huge. This is like my I don't want to say this was like my Hail Mary coin, but as more and more information comes out about the project and the fact that they're going to be able to tackle the US market, I think that's fantastic news. And now this Hail Mary coin, I think, could easily be one of the coins that I have in my portfolio that has one of the best use cases that already has the regulatory clarity and approval. So they're not just going to go tackle the US markets and say this openly without having everything in place that they need to have in place to do just that. So with that being said, I think that'll do it for this Telcoin update review. Let's go ahead. We'll check the price here. So while I've been speaking, it's continued to rise. We're up 40% for the day. And as mentioned before, like I said, we were talking about this back in November. So where were we in November here? November to now, over the course of 77 days, you're looking at almost a 1,000% gain. And in my opinion, I think we're just getting started here. If we kind of zoom out here, we can go ahead and see that we debuted at 1 cent. So will we be climbing to 1 cent? It's quite possible. I do know that the way Telcoin works is it's only 2 decimal places over. So it's supposed to be used like cash. And I thought that was very interesting as opposed to something like a Bitcoin where they go over, 7 or 8 decimal points. This is supposed to be utilized as cash. And so if people are able to send money faster and smarter with less transaction fees, and they can do it all from their mobile phone, once again, they're targeting the unbanked. I think this is fantastic. And, the price should hopefully continue to go up from here. And so we will be keeping an eye on it. We'll keep you guys all informed, but definitely check out Telcoin, do your research. And with that being said, that'll do it for this version of the Encrypted Capital Recap for February 3rd. If you guys like the content, please share the video, drop us a like, comment, you know the drill, and we will catch you all in the next video.